cultural diversity, usually a good thing, during a disaster or an outbreak like Ebola can be a very, very bad thing. A cultural norm in one village might be taboo in a village just 10 kilometers away. As we saw in the Ebola crisis, when the anthropologists came in and tried to make sense of why it was hitting one village and not another village, they usually found out that it was because of different traditions and cultural practices that this particular village had, like everybody going to the burial and kissing the deceased. Well, that was pretty guaranteed to get you a little dose of Ebola. So we need really, when an anthropologist goes in, they've got what they need off of the internet. They know what this village is going to be like and what the traditions are. But still, they're going to butt up against chiefs and witch doctors and handmaidens and people that just do not like other people telling them that their culture isn't perfect. So this was basically what the anthropologists found when they went into the 3 western states in Western Africa. During the Ebola crisis, all the anthropological disciplines were used. Medical, biological, linguistic, urban, cultural, internet, you name it. They were all represented there. Luckily, we have anthropologists that are experts in all of these disciplines, and they all got together and working through the internet and through the community, CDC, and different medical groups that were there, Doctors Without Borders, we had to mention them. They got the job done. They took a little while to get set up because the thing blindsided them, and nobody was really ready for this outbreak. But once they got moving, they did the job. Like in other parts of the world, anthropologists realize that diet, education, sanitation, communication, transportation, all these things are really, really important elements in a society. They bring people together from different cultures. People get acculturated. They assimilate somewhat. They intermarry. There's a lot of things that anthropologists are working on at this time, and all of them will be good for the next outbreak. A great many Africans have been out of Africa, of course, visiting, going to school, visiting relatives, working in other countries, traveling on business or other things. So the culture of the people coming in to help with the Ebola crisis was not new to most of the educated people, thank goodness. And they could kind of pave the way for the cultural differences that they were going to find in the villages. Without their help, I don't even think an anthropologist would have been able to get much done in that time. As we've seen in Africa, and almost all of Africa over the last 15 years, the banks have been responsible for getting the internet out because they need their people to be able to access their accounts, and there's no roads and there's no other communication. This was a good thing during the Ebola crisis because anthropologists and doctors and other people who were in the aid groups could get a hold of people overseas to get answers to specific questions. The different disciplines that were used during the Ebola crisis were almost all of them. There was cultural, there was linguistic, there was biological, there was health concerns. And these things were all made possible by the internet. You have a specific case in this one village, you have to know before they got the field hospital set up, you had to know where to take them. Some people didn't even know what to do when they did come across a case. So all these things were made possible basically by the banks in Africa. History has changed. 200 years ago, it took 2 years to get a letter from India back to Britain sometimes, or from Acapulco to Spain. Now, boom, it's there before you can even think about it. So you don't even have to think about it anymore. All you got to do is talk to your phone and tell it to send it, and it's gone. So history got us to this point. The internet will get us from here to the next point. First time, and a case of Ebola comes up anywhere on this planet, almost everybody in every place on the planet will know what it is. And we can prevent this kind of an outbreak again. We also have, with anthropologists' blessings and with their advice, we have field hospitals set up. We have things ready to go, stockpiled in different parts of the world where the next outbreak is most likely to come. So next time, we're ready. Thank you, anthropologists. Oh, thank you, Doctors Without Borders, too. You guys did a real good job on this one. With the help of the internet, CDC, the World Health Organization, and other big university and hospital research departments all got together via the internet, of course, and exchanged information, and without it, that thing could have been a lot worse than it was. We were lucky this time, but anthropologists are still there, even though the outbreak was officially ended in November of last year. They're still there doing follow-up work and getting ready for the next outbreak, whether it be Ebola or swine flu or bird flu, ZZD4 or whatever.